Welcome to How We Heard It, the podcast about music, pop culture, movies, and more, with your hosts Wayne Bledsoe and Chuck Campbell.
This is Chuck Campbell with
Wayne Bledsoe.
I can't even get through this. And also,
John Baker.
Hello, everybody. So I think we have different topics to talk. I don't know. Explain it, Wayne.
Well, what I thought we were going to talk about was things that would surprise people that we like or don't like.
Okay. Well, now I kind of have the surprise people part of it.
Okay.
It's not necessarily things I like or don't like, but just confessions, I guess.
Who knows where this is going to go?
Who knows where this is going to go? And I think that we're going to be in a real tug of war here because I don't think I think we are on the same page, and it's going to make sense as we go.
Maybe.
But we might very well not be at all.
We may invent a new page.
We may invent a new page. We may, yes. But
Simply imagine us as three people who were at a bar and sat down to talk and didn't know what we were really going to talk about.
And we didn't even know each other. And we don't even know ourselves. So it's three people with no self-identity and no knowledge of anyone else. But I guess maybe we can just call it Let Us Surprise You or something like that. Well, that might more or less
Let us annoy you.
Let us annoy you with our surprises. Let Chuck shut up and let Wayne, who's opening his notebook now. Oh. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start? Or
why don't you start? Because I think the way you've set it up is probably going to be open for more discussion.
Oh, it's just open up for all kinds of discussion. Okay. I guess. I don't know.
All right.
So the things we hate, we had talked about that initially, and I thought, oh man, I don't know if I can talk for an hour about hating stuff. And it's not because I don't hate stuff, and not because I'm not capable of negative opinions or stuff like that, but I just start feeling guilty when I go off. I do.
Because you're nicer than me.
I've written reviews in the past, and someone would be like, oh, I usually trust your reviews, but you just dumped all over one of my favorite artists. I'm like, oh no, it's like, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I was having a bad day when I wrote that or whatever. But
what we've talked about before is we don't expect everybody to like or dislike what we like or dislike.
Right.
And that's part of the thing. I mean, I picked out some people that people would expect me to dislike.
Okay.
That I like very much.
So I didn't really do anything like that at all. That's what I've got here. So what I thought I would start with is circling back to something we have talked about before. Okay. And that is that I don't like guitar solos.
Right.
And I started thinking about that. On the one hand, I said, well, it's because I never played the guitar, except briefly. Recently, I just learned to play the guitar.
Play is doing a lot of work there.
Yeah. But it's like I didn't appreciate... I appreciate the work that goes into delivering a good guitar solo. Right. I think at the time I compared it to like an athlete because you don't like sports.
Right.
Like a great quarterback player or a great, basketball player or a baseball player who hits a home run or something like that. You can appreciate the effort that goes into doing that, but you don't understand why anyone cares. And that's kind of where I am with the guitar solos. Right. It's like, okay, I can appreciate that there's a lot of skill involved that I don't understand because I never played guitar and I don't relate to it in any way. But I feel like there's more to it than that. And this is like opening up a can of worms, and this could be a whole topic all by itself.
Go for it.
But I started thinking about how writing about music changed who I am, okay? Oh. Hang in there.
Okay.
So this started, and Bob Alexander, as it happens, my entertainment editor in Florida.
Who became both of our entertainment editors.
Yeah, and he became an entertainment editor in Knoxville after that. But, he was the one who just casually threw out the idea of writing album reviews to me. And I hadn't thought about it. And it's like, I guess I could do it. And he just said, you could write like 3 a week or something like that, which seemed totally plausible to me because I was just a writer. And he was just casually offering it up there. But that shackled me to a life of never having time. Yeah. And I was like a slave to this 3 albums a week, and beyond what Bob ever intended either. And it was like I never I never took breaks. It's like if I was on vacation, I would have 3 albums a week because my column got syndicated, and it was, on Cox News Service, and it was syndicated on New York Times News Service. And it's like, oh my God, and that doesn't mean everybody at the New York Times used every column or anything like that, but they understood that the format was 3 reviews a week, and that it was written with the idea that the 3 reviews would be disconnected from each other, so that an editor somewhere who might be using could just take one of those reviews and use it and not have to worry about what the other 2 even say. Yeah. So when you're writing like that, I was basically on an assembly line doing these reviews. And it takes a long time to write 1 review. And 3 reviews a week after week, after month, after year, after decade, is just overwhelming. And especially because my job kept changing. And, once I wasn't in the union anymore, once I was management, those 3 reviews a week were on my time. Yeah. And I had so many Saturdays and Sundays when I would write reviews. I know that when I would be at work writing reviews, and I'd still have to write a review, and everybody else was done for the day, and people would start talking, and we worked in newsrooms full of wonderful people and people I wanted to know better, and I'd have to be like, I've still got 2 more hours work. You heard it. Everybody heard it all the time. They came to say, hey, I like your shirt. I've got a review to write. And I feel bad about that, and I regret that. And as a result of that, I already didn't like guitar solos, but you can imagine when I've got an album going and this guitar solo starts, and it's 10 o'clock at night on a Monday night, and I'm here, it's like, no. So it's like I had less tolerance, and it made me an impatient person, I think, and it made me just a little more high strung, I think, than normally. I don't think it was my natural disposition to be high strung all the time, but it sure did feed into that, and it was just like something that happened to me on and on and on, and it made me impatient and wanting to. I think that's why I don't like long movies. I think that's like I don't like long TV shows. I don't like long commitments, to entertainment or to books. I can't read books anymore. Yeah. It's like, so it's had this long-term effect. So I do believe part of it is just, I just wanted everyone to cut to the chase. I wanted a 30-minute album, not an hour-long album. I wanted 10 songs, not 16 songs. I wanted, I do feel like I still was able to shift my brain into, hearing the album and taking notes and giving every album its due and listening to every song from every album, looking at the lyrics if I can find them anywhere, trying to hear them out, trying to get the point that I gave it my all every time I sat down to do a review, even if I didn't want to do it. I have to say that, I never lost my love for music. As burdensome as it became over the years, and still, even to this day, there'll be a new song by a new artist, and I'll feel that little tingly, oh my God, how it is when you hear a great song for the first time, and it's like, I'm going to love this, and I'll sit and I'll just replay songs. So I still love music and everything, but it just put such a cramp on my time, and it really did. I would write some reviews on vacation, and it's just like, and that was all on me, nobody, and it did feel, it's like people just took it for granted, and so no one was even questioning whether it was overwhelming me or anything. Yeah. They just had me keep doing it. And then you get imposter syndrome, it's like, oh, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Does anyone care, But I just wanted to go back to that and say, I think that I hadn't thought about it before, but I do think that was part of why I don't like guitar. It added to my already hatred of guitar solos.
Your life was changed by long guitar solos.
I was missing out on my friends and my family and TV shows I could be watching or runs I could be on.
Well, it's so. We're so opposite in so many ways, because my experience is the opposite.
Yeah.
Because when I wrote a column,
sometimes. You had those big headphones. I
put those headphones on.
You had giant headphones.
There was a reason for that.
Yeah, people knew that Wayne's not going to hear you. Don't even bother me. I'm wearing these little headphones, and I'm looking up at everybody. Well,
here's a confession, Chuck. Yeah. Half the time I had those headphones on, I wasn't listening to music.
I know that because I sat next to you, and I could hear it come through the headphones when you were listening. And I would see some mouthy somebody maybe would come up and say, "Oh, is Wayne reviewing?" I said, "Yeah, I think so." And I knew that wasn't anything coming out.
As soon as I saw one of those people come up, I
You
would
just
put my
put 'em
headphones on.
Like, well, I better settle into this review.
But with me, it was like because my column didn't have any rules.
No, I know.
One
and that's
week,
what I wish I had.
Yeah, 1 week it was like I could review one album, I could review 5 albums, I could do an interview,
Yeah.
I could just pontificate.
Yep.
And it was great.
That was beautiful.
And it allowed me to, talk to people that I wouldn't normally talk to, and it allowed me to showcase local bands and artists that that maybe there wasn't room for someplace else.
Right.
And
You were able to make it whatever you wanted to.
Exactly.
And I was, of my own determination, I was locked into 3 reviews.
Yeah.
They had to be the same length. And it's just in case someone in Dubuque, Iowa, wanted a new wave, well, not new wave, but like some kind of electronic review to plug into a hole on an entertainment page, in page 14 of their entertainment section.
Well, when they would send mine out on the news service, it would be sporadic. They would just see something, okay, this will work, we like this, whatever, and they would pick it up. I mean, in yours, though, you were set in, and there were people every week expecting yours.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
I would hear, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, like I would sometimes be like, get some message from, I don't know, somewhere in Illinois or something. Like, is Chuck Campbell going to have a review this week? and I was like compulsive about it, and I was always writing in advance. I was never writing at the last minute.
But what was interesting too is sometimes they would take one of your reviews and one of my reviews.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember seeing clips from other papers when they would do that, but they would sometimes put both of our reviews on.
Yeah, they'd put us side by side.
Yeah, and
I was like, oh, Wayne enjoyed his review, and mine I wrote at 2 a.m.
Well, now I didn't, take the weekends and everything, but I would stay late because I would overcommit because there would be people coming through town that I said I was going to do a story on, or people playing shows locally that I said I was going to do a story on.
Yeah.
And
and that was another difference is like I rarely if ever did interviews for people coming to town. It's like I'm not committing to that,
and not local stuff,
no,
but
because I knew nobody in Dubuque, Iowa was going to care about the local stuff.
And every now and then when something that I thought had like a national draw that was local, I would suggest you do it.
Yeah.
There's a few times that it's like, these people could use the bump and they're actually going to, be on a major label or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but because you got more coverage than I did on that stuff.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know how valuable it was to be on page 14 of Dubuque's entertainment section.
It was valuable. Well, it was valuable for people who needed reviews of their albums and needed the word to get out. For sure.
Yeah. But you were able to. I didn't have the connection that you had with so many artists because you would talk to them and you would talk to them again and again and you got to know these artists. And if I interviewed one, it was usually a one shot and I never talked to him again.
Yeah. Well, people would, I think people got tired of talking to me sometimes, but it's like, sometimes you probably don't remember me. And it's like, I think I've said before.
I remember you.
Yeah. But I mean, most of the time it was, Lucinda Williams, like I said before, gave me the best compliment by, it never seems like an interview with you. You're that guy. And that was always great.
Well,
but I made so many of my best friends because I had that position and I could talk to these musicians that I was crazy about. And, even some that I didn't like their music that much, I got to be friends with.
Right.
But the ones that I did, I got to champion them in print.
Yeah.
And I was honest. I gave all sorts of friends, negative commentary in the reviews, but overall I got to help them get noticed and known a little bit. And
I just shut that down, and it's like I know that, and it was never out of a snobbery thing, but as far as like a Knoxville artist or whatever, it's like, it's not going to really help me in the game I'm playing here, you know, because they're not going to take it, it's like, if that's going to be one of the 3, no one else is going to use it outside of Knoxville. Right. So Wayne does that.
Which was good. That was one of the things that was so good about us working together, kind of side by side, is we were working on different things.
Yep.
And there was a different.
I took those hip hop people off your hands.
You sure did. Yep. And I was really glad.
Yeah. I didn't have to deal with country unless I wanted to. I was glad about that. So.
Yeah, and I had tons of background in that sort of thing, even though it didn't turn into what I had loved.
Right. No, unfortunately, country turned to crap. But, besides that.
But that's interesting. But it changed my life just because I made so many good friends, and and people appreciated what I did. I mean, they appreciated what you did too, but you would get letters from somebody and. From not badly. I can't remember I remember you getting emails and stuff from people who were, thank you for this review.
Yeah. I would get emails from people and, all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I got millions of them, but I would get emails just from complete strangers who were even in other countries.
It was like Elastica or somebody was in the studio and read your review of their last album.
Yeah. And, they would show up like, I know I did a Throwing Muses review one time, and they ended up using it as a promotion for their album. They were doing a big. It was at some hip club in New York, and they used a big quote from me. They gave me credit with an illustration, and that was like to entice people to come see their show. And I was like, oh my god! So some of that, and Tom Tom Club, they used me too for a promotion for something, and so that was cool, but. I don't know. I mean, if I could do it again, I'm not sure what I would change, but I would definitely not commit to 3 a week because that was just insane. That was insane.
Did you see that as something that you just couldn't change?
Yeah. And it's like, I never knew I wasn't particularly disciplined before this, but it's like, I've got to do this. It's got to be this long. It's got to be that 300 words that I've said.
But you imposed that discipline on yourself. It wasn't someone else saying, you must do 300 word reviews every week.
Yeah. And it was like, and I knew it had to be the same length because I was also the guy filling pages. So I knew how much space, and you wanted to count on it to be the same space every week. People don't know this. So you can take a little EP by a pop band no one's heard of and wrote 300 words, or you can take a classic album by, one of the biggest rock icons and turn it 300 words. It didn't matter. But, and it was something I did put on myself, and it was just this off the top of his head thing that Bob said. You could do 3 albums a week. I was like, okay, that's what it is for the rest of my life.
Oh my God. That's but knowing you for so long that it's that's you.
Yeah, and I did become just more disciplined and neurotic about everything, and I think that's kind of where it all started because if I had the freedom of the other things I did, that was more fun and so much more fun to do some of the other things I did, but I still had, 3 album reviews to write every week, and to like, I can't go anywhere Saturday because I've still got a review to write. And I mean, just like all the time. So.
And was that your first journalism job? You had to write 3 reviews a week off the bat?
Well, I was there a year before they decided that I could do it. And I didn't know that they were thinking about it. So I was there a year, and then Bob just came drifting out, and he needed, all the entertainment writers at that time in Florida were like, 60 and older. So, and then they got this kid who's like 21, 22, it's like, hey, let's get him to write something. So they just tossed it out. It was just an idea. And I took it as like, this is like deep commitment for the rest of my life.
But people also don't understand that in newspapers, they put so little value on entertainment.
Yeah.
That what they would do generally is, whoever's young, we'll just let them write.
Yeah. Because it doesn't matter, so we'll just give it to the young person.
Yeah. The rare times I did group interviews, and when they'll set up 15 people on the phone to ask one question to Britney Spears or whatever.
Yeah.
It felt so embarrassing to be on those calls.
Oh, I know. The calls would just be idiotic questions.
Idiotic questions, stuff that's in the press kit, people who had zero information on any of this stuff. And, of course, I'm a music nerd.
Right.
And I'd already researched it and knew everything that I wanted to ask pretty much. And I wanted the conversation. And you get one question.
Right. And then the question after you is like, so, Brittany, are you like dating Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, that sort of.
You were trying to ask her about her musical influences, And
well,
the next one.
With the Britney Spears one, I mean, it's like, well, what the hell do I ask after all these stupid questions?
Right.
So I asked, well, what does it mean? My standard question: what is written about you, or what is out there about you that is incorrect, or
that was a great question. You got
false.
So many great answers, and I loved your way of packaging that into. You would do stories about, celebrities, reveal the biggest lies about them, or however.
That sort of thing. And I mean, most of the time they gave me a good answer.
I'm sure
on
they
it.
all have something. It's like, I hope no one ever does that to me again. They were able to vent on that to you.
Yeah, And it was fun because sometimes that's when the interview really started, because it's like, oh, this guy's going to get this. He's actually asking a question that wants to get it right.
Right.
And then every now and then, I remember I asked Wanda Jackson that question, and she said that, well, people think that Gene Vincent and the Blue Caps played on Let's Have a Party. And they didn't. It was a different group of musicians. So I printed that, and the wire service changed it so that it was incorrect.
Oh, no.
And it was...
Oh, they'll do that, though. They'll do that.
And they changed it to the exact opposite, and I just wanted to bury myself.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I didn't write that. I know I didn't write that. The whole reason was to correct everything.
Yeah.
And I went back and looked at my original story, and it was right in my original story, and then the wire service changed it.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
How can they do that?
Well, because they can edit your stuff.
They got an editor. They got some,
yeah,
book-toting editor. He's like, oh, that can't be right. Well, no, see, it says here. That
right,
it was,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then the AP
think they know better than you do.
Yeah, and then the AP could also, and this happened to me before too, take your story, change a few things, and put AP on it, because we had a contract with the AP.
Oh, yeah.
I got
the AP byline sometimes.
Yeah, I did a thing on, I think it was when Dolly was inducted to the East Tennessee Hall of Fame or whatever it was. It didn't last that long. And I wrote a story, and they basically took my story, changed 2 or 3 little things, and put AP
And then
on
they
it.
took credit. Oh.
Yeah, and it was just infuriating.
Well, I had, I know New York Times was one of the first ones to start doing this, but they would translate my reviews into other languages.
Yeah.
And it was usually probably more Spanish than anything. I wasn't fluent in Spanish, but I was good enough in Spanish to know that that's not what I said. Right. You know what I'm looking at? It's like, fabuloso. It's just like all exclamation points. Like, no, I didn't write it like that. I know I didn't.
Well, I did an interview with Nora Jones, and we published it in our paper. They put it on the wire service, and I noticed that it got translated into Spanish to run in a paper in Mexico City. Mm-hmm. So I was also doing a tech column at the time. So I thought, well, what about these translator things that are online? How does it change? Because I translated it back from Spanish into English, and it was like so different.
Right.
She made some comment. I can't remember exactly what she said, but it was a little kind of innocuous comment. And when you translated it back, it was like, my music is not very good. So I translated
the double translation.
I translated it into Japanese and into other languages, and then I translated the Japanese into another language back into English, and saw all the different variations on how this turned out. And God knows how we ever communicate with anybody that doesn't speak the same language. I
have a friend in Germany who doesn't speak much English at all, and I was trying to use German translation programs, and he's like, don't use anymore. He said, you write English, I'll figure out.
As a fun thought experiment, I will take like Lucy in the Sky, or just a song that the lyrics to, and translate it into one language and then into another language and then back into English, and see what you get, and see if you can tell what the song is.
That's a good idea.
It's fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's a party game.
Yeah.
We need to do that.
Yeah, we should.
Well, we could do a whole podcast on that. That'd be fun. Can you guess this song?
These lyrics have been translated from English into Spanish, into Japanese, into German, back into English.
Yes. Let's do that sometime.
Yeah, we could do that.
That would be fun.
That wouldn't be so hard. Okay. Well, I don't think that's given us anything on our next direction.
Well, this is going to be
like
one
I say,
of
I've just got bullet points, and you're on another wavelength. And I've got some kind of negative stuff about music.
Well, I don't care. We can keep going with what we're going on.
All right. We'll keep going. What do you want to do?
Well,
what should we do, John?
I'm trying.
Just keep moving forward.
Okay. Just keep moving forward.
I'm trying to think if I've got any sort of confessions on any of this stuff.
I've got confessions.
Oh, well, I'll give you a confession. Because I don't... I reviewed Leonard Skinner one night. Mm-hmm. We already talked about this.
You were stoned?
Yeah, we talked about that. Okay. All right.
Were you stoned?
Confession. I'll just confess the same thing
again?
over and over. No, I'm not yet. Not yet. But
So some of my quibbles on music.
quibbles.
Yes. I don't care how hard or easy it was for you to create a new song. I only care about how it sounds. And a lot of times the backstories for music ends up overshadowing the music itself. And I think a good example of that is We Are the World. And,
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh, and all these people came together, and it was miraculous how they got this person and that person in the studio, and blah, blah, blah. And then you get this mediocre at best song, you know.
Well, the documentary.
Good story, though.
Yeah, it's a good story.
The story's great. The documentary on it is really fun to watch, and I hate that song with every ounce of my being. That is just a crap song.
Right. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and but yeah, they do like to do that, and it's like what they talk about people's backstory, what they've been through, and that makes it more interesting. But if the product
Doesn't make the song any better.
No.
Nope.
I mean,
When you look at like Richard and Linda Thompson, Shoot Out the Lights, you know, they were going through a divorce when they made that album, and you can hear it.
oh yeah, I love that.
That's an amazing album.
Yeah,
But you can tell
It can
they were.
enhance a good song or a good album.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, but that's the thing is you could listen to that album and just think, damn, this is a great album.
You don't have to know that they were going through a divorce.
No, but you can tell as it goes on. I mean,
Or they're good actors. You know?
yeah, well, sometimes that's the case. Sometimes, I bet some people channel old. That's one of the things I find fascinating about just art is, I mean, what it's like to be with an artist when they're channeling an old relationship and they're in a new relationship.
Yeah.
And it's like, is this about me?
Yeah.
I mean,
There was a lot of that with Taylor Swift's career
Yeah.
until she got settled. Yeah. Because she would be in this new, bright, flowery relationship and just like savaging the guy before, you know.
But I mean, well, Dylan's the same way. I mean, you know, you listen to some of his
Did you
stuff.
see that Dylan movie?
Not yet. I am going to go see it.
Okay.
We saw. I'll tell you. I'll recommend the one we saw. You probably saw it too.
Okay. Let's see. I've got auto-tune. Do you all want to talk about auto-tune?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way I feel like vocals have always been sweetened, but not necessarily by auto-tune.
Right.
And I know you guys are against auto-tune. I'm against auto-tune when it sounds like a freaking animated cartoon or something like that. But on the other hand, I would rather hear you sing in key, even if that takes tweaking. So I don't know how you all feel about it because it's like...
Well, it's become a fashion unto itself.
Yeah,
You know, it's like
yeah.
at first it was there to correct a vocal that is maybe not spot on, but then people realized that you could like turn the sensitivity way up, and all of a sudden it just sounds like you're playing your voice on a keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it became a fashion unto itself.
Yeah. And I did hate that.
Some of it I really hate, but then some of the later Brian Eno albums, he's using one and he's tuned it. I mean, he's pushing it beyond what it's supposed to, and his voice sounds like a little girl.
Yeah.
And he's singing like, you know, really poignant lyrics, but it just sounds like it's a little girl singing. And I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Well, see, I feel the same way about autotune that I feel about synthesizers.
Uh-oh. Okay.
If you do something really weird and it works,
Right.
I'm all for it.
Right.
Yep.
I'm sort of the opposite of what you say with it. I really don't want your vocals sweetened up if you can't sing.
Right. No, not if you can't sing at all.
But
you know.
if you do something really weird and different that makes me go, oh, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, but what they did on all these hits, and, you know, T-Pain is one of the worst, it was like it had that quirky kind of novelty sound to it, but it was the same as everybody else's quirky novelty sound.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
You're not doing anything different with it. Then
Right.
you're just
Stop.
aping
Yeah.
a fashion.
Yeah, do some, if you've got a tool, don't use it the same way everybody else does.
Right.
Because, you know, what individuality is there in that? I could care less. But like with synthesizers, I like the bleeps and the bloops and the weird stuff. I don't want the thing that I hate, and I've always hated, are the synthesized washes that sound like, you know, a symphony
like a
on
rolling
Prozac.
tide of,
Yes. I despise it.
What do you think makes you hate that?
It's just, it seems, well, it's trying to sound sincere and it's completely insincere. It's the same thing that I hate about, you know, that kind of movie.
Right.
You know,
I remember back in the, I guess it was early 80s, Yamaha came out with the DX7 synthesizer. And it was the first one that had buttons on it where it would say strings, horns, you know, all of this. And it's meant to sound like So I don't want a synthesizer to sound exactly like a string section. I mean, maybe I do if I need that, but I want to turn knobs till it makes some weird sound that no one's ever made before.
Exactly. See, I can see a synthesizer like that used as a tool to, okay, this is how I want this arrangement to be. I want to put these real instruments in this arrangement, and here is the guide.
Right.
But I hate that synthesized sound that it's just, I mean, it's like AI generated stuff now.
Yeah.
You can always tell. There's an insincerity.
Well,
to
I think you two are both better at being able to tell than I am, because
Really?
sometimes I don't know. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
is that?
Well,
a,
I do
is that
because I'm a
violin?
musician, but
You what?
I do because I'm a musician
and a
Right.
producer.
Yeah,
Right.
You may have done some of these things, John.
I have. I did them just today.
Well, if I didn't notice, I thought it was great.
Well, I mean,
I admired the string quartet you brought in for that song.
I keep an open mind because, well, as in my job as a recording producer, I'm called to do a bunch of different things. And like today, I was working with one client who, for years, he has made up his own lyrics to established songs, kind of like Weird Al Yankovic, sort of. I mean, but he'll take. Well, we did "Nobody Does It Better," the Carly Simon song from the James Bond movie.
Right.
But he's and instead of "You're the best," he calls it "I'm the worst," and he's just talking about all of this. And so that song is loaded with just sappy strings and stuff.
But
And
that's different.
Yeah.
That's for a point. It's not. I'm gonna fool everybody and make this, make them think we've got these beautiful strings. It's like it's done ironically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the people falling for AI and posting it on Facebook. It's like, oh my God, you can't tell that's fake. And they can. And I think it embarrasses them when it's pointed out to them. It's like,
Oh, they'll argue with you.
Yeah,
they'll
they'll
argue.
argue
No,
with
this is real. How can you tell? Because there's 5.
well, their eyes are dead and they've got 8 fingers on each hand. And I believe there's a dog, ear on the left side.
Look at their toes. Always count toes.
The toes.
The
and
feet
just the
are the
way,
worst.
Just the way the arms kind of go inside of bodies.
Yeah.
And go into, 2 arms will come and just become 1 arm. And
Well, an early part of this argument too was in the early times of inventing synthesizers. There were 2 different sort of schools of thought. There was an East Coast school of synthesis and a West Coast. And the East Coast was kind of pioneered by Robert Moog. And the West Coast was more, I don't know the names of the people, but they're...
Beaver and Craws.
Yeah, they were into sequencers. And when Moog attached a keyboard to a synthesizer, the West Coasters thought that's it. That's ridiculous.
Right.
You've just cheapened the whole idea, because they were all about making the weirdest, wackiest sounds they could. And anyone that could play a keyboard could play a synthesizer now, and they were like, that's ridiculous. I mean, now it has come to pass that it made a synthesizer much more accessible to a lot of people.
Right.
But
Wait, I think we're probably more on middle ground than we used to be, because I like synthesizers more than you did, and we would argue about how he would say, there's no emotion, there's no human emotion in that synthesizer. It's not the same thing as, a guy on a guitar or a guy on... It's like, well, someone has to program it. I mean, someone had to come up with it. It didn't just invent itself.
Well, that's part of it with me is if I can hear the inventiveness or I can hear emotion, I'm okay with that. Okay. I mean, I like King Crimson, and it's very technical. Robert Fripp is this technical, weird guitar player, and he comes up with these long... You would hate King Crimson beyond words.
Yeah.
But...
I gather.
I mean, when Adrian Blue came in, there was emotion, but there's not a lot outside of that. But I still like it because I appreciate how inventive it is, and it makes me think different things as I'm listening to it. And it's like, I don't know where this is going to go.
Right.
it's real heady music.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And for me, it's just like I don't care what's behind it. I just care about how I feel when I listen to it.
The same thing, just
so
to a
it
large
can be a
extent.
primal thing that takes over, and I'm not even thinking about how it was.
My beef about synthesized music is if it has a button that you hit that says go, and then you're just, I mean, it's like when I get music festivals or something, I'm so sick of a dude in a laptop with a gigantic light show. Right. You know, it's like, I don't want to watch somebody hit go and then just kind of dance around. I mean, it's going to sound the same every time they play that. exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because it's all been programmed ahead of time.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about live shows. I mean, I remember, the Eagles are the ones that when they got back together, the ticket prices skyrocketed. And you're sitting there and it's like, this sounds exactly like it sounds on the album.
Right.
And there were probably 90% of the people sitting there, that's what they wanted.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I thought, I could put on the album and get this experience.
Right.
For a lot cheaper.
Yeah. I want to hear something that I
feel
can't
the
get
same
somewhere
way.
else.
I feel the same way, but I don't want it to hear worse than it sounds on the album.
Sometimes,
if it's going to
That's
be
the gamble you take when you buy a ticket.
If it's going to be slower and they're going to be missing notes and stuff, it's like, I don't know.
it all depends. I mean, I was at a show last night, and the end of it was kind of a lovable train wreck. Mm-hmm. But that was part of the charm of it. It was so real. It was so spontaneous. And they were not really prepared. I mean, the first part of the show was great. Everybody's prepared for everything, knew what they're going to do. But the last part was kind of a little tribute thing that they put together at the last minute. It was a mess, but I enjoyed it.
Oh, I don't mind a little messy.
This was real messy.
I just don't want it to sound like discordant, all I hear is the guitar and I can't hear the singer anymore.
Oh, yeah, well, that's different. I hate
Oh,
that.
my God.
That's the fault with that lies with the mixing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hate that.
And that kind of brings me up to another thing I don't mind, and they're criticized so much for it. We've talked about it before, and that's that when people are using backing tracks, I don't want them to come out and lip sync the entire show.
Right.
That would be terrible. And I've mentioned before, it's like if they do a lot of dancing and stuff like that, I don't want to hear them, gasping and panting for breath the whole time they're singing. And it's a compromise that works for me, and that is they're singing the whole time.
Right.
When they're out of breath or whatever, they mix up the backing
Right.
tracks, the pre-recorded backing tracks. So you're hearing that more predominantly. You might hear them gasping now and then.
Right.
And then when they're doing a ballad or not dancing as much, then that's purely them live. And it's like, okay, I know they're going to sing the whole time. And sometimes it's going to be more of a fantasy because they're dancing, and that's a whole other way of performing.
Yeah,
So-
I got used to that. I mean,
Yeah.
when I reviewed Janet Jackson, and she did it so well.
Yeah.
And she was
And
singing
she's a
for
great
part
dancer.
of it. And she
Let her dance.
Yeah, and she sang for most of it.
Yeah.
She wasn't singing while she was dancing. I was okay with that. I wasn't okay with Britney Spears lip syncing the whole show.
Well, yeah. No, I wouldn't be okay with that ever.
And she wasn't even good at lip syncing.
Well, now it's sounding like a comedy show. I don't know.
It was sad, I thought. I mean, I kind of liked some of her songs. I mean, on the radio, but watching her live and just not really doing anything but kind of dancing and moving around and lip syncing was
Lip syncing poorly, not even knowing her own songs.
It was.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that she didn't know her own songs. I think she was just she'd get lost.
Yeah.
My thinking about backing tracks has evolved.
Really?
Because it used to be, as a musician, I can look on the stage and I can see who's doing everything.
Right.
And if there are sounds coming out that I can't account for, that
Yeah.
used to be a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. Are you talking about instrumental or just?
Yeah, instrumental backing
Yeah.
tracks.
Well, I think if you got an instrumentalist who's not dancing, then they should be performing live.
Well, like I said, it used to be if there was any evidence of pre-recorded stuff being played back to me, I was just, I'm gone. But
Yeah.
I think lately it has just become apparent that, they want their stuff to sound like they think it should sound. And if there are backing tracks, it's just inevitable. When you go see a live music, there are going to be some backing tracks.
Yeah.
And if you're going to stand on your high horse about it, you're going to end up not liking a lot of stuff.
I think they just got to find that sweet spot of making it sound enough like the album so people aren't, like, what the hell is this,
Well, for example, Chapel Roan. I saw her last summer.
Yeah.
And she has a band, and they're all playing their instruments.
Yeah.
And I could tell
Yeah.
they were playing
Yeah.
their instruments, but there was also backing tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's okay.
as long as I can, if the guitar player was not making chord shapes and just
Right.
strumming dead
Yeah.
strings, that would piss me off.
Like
but
I don't think those kids in the 1-800 kids cars for kids.
Yeah.
I don't think they're actually playing. I'm almost sure they're not, and I don't even know if that kid's singing. So they need to step up their
You just
game.
brought up the most annoying commercial that has been playing for the past however many years.
Okay, we can move this into the hate then. We hate kids singing for our cars.
Oh God, that's an awful commercial. Every time it comes on, I can't get to the TV fast enough to turn it off.
It sticks in your head.
It does.
It's so awful.
And thank you so much, Chuck.
Can't get it out. I know. It's like I don't know if I can move on from that. Okay. Well. Another thing is like interpreting artists' songs. Oh, you want to go ahead?
No, go ahead. Keep going. This is more interesting than what I had.
These are random bullet points. So,
well, I think that works.
Okay, so a lot of times, I can tell from the tone of a song, what it's about.
Right.
And sometimes I mishear the lyrics.
Yeah.
And I actually make their lyrics better. And I'm really disturbed when I realize, no, it wasn't like, they weren't using, I don't know, just like some fancy, like obsequious, instead it was like in my sequence, or it's like, no, that's not nearly as good. And I'll continue to cling to my lyrics for their song. But, and as far as that goes, and I can't stand it when they're grammatically incorrect, especially if there was no reason for it to be. If you're being emphatic or whatever, sometimes you can like take liberties with grammar, but if
you're trying to make a rhyme, I think it's okay to mispronounce a word.
Yeah, but if you're using that when you should use who, it's like, no, don't.
Oh, that happens all the time.
I know. And
you can't,
and it bothers me every time.
But just in people talking all the time. I mean, there hardly anybody gets who in that right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember which one it is, but there's a Madonna song I like, and she says that when it's who, and it's just like, I know she's got someone who can say that's a who, and it doesn't change the song at all to say who instead of that.
Right. Well, it was funny. I reviewed somebody's album, a local artist, and I quoted their song on the in the review, and then I had him on my radio show later, and he sang the lyrics, and it's like I heard it more clearly. It's like, after this he finished, I said, I misinterpreted that lyric, and he said, yeah, but I saw what you did in the paper. I really kind of like that better.
Sometimes it's like, and I've kind of made those criticisms before, where it's just like, they need to step up their game a little bit on lyrics, and I have gotten feedback where it's like, you're right, I'm going to do better. I was like, I wasn't even thinking about,
It's always hard because, I'm a songwriter, and I've had someone come back and say, I'm not real wild about that line. And my first response is, well, you didn't write the song. But then come back and think, well, let me think about it, and come up with a different line and think, thank you for telling me that. It made the song better.
Well, it's funny. I reviewed another local artist, and I liked their album, the person's album. But I said, I put in the review, I wish this person would recognize that it's not being punked to not hit the notes. If they would work a little bit harder and hit it, it would be so much better. And I know I hurt their feelings.
And for God's sake, enunciate. I hate it when you just can't.
Oh, I know.
It's just all a big slur. It's like
But I'll tell you, the next time, that next album that came out from that artist, they hit every note. And it was so much better. And, I don't know that it was all me writing that in there.
You should have got a special thanks.
Special thanks, yeah. But it was one of those things where that was actually probably my favorite album of the year that came out, was the album that came out after that, because that person hit the notes. It sounded so much better, and it was still punky. It was fine.
Okay.
Well, a mature artist will take that criticism and do something with it.
Yeah.
Yep. And a serious artist will.
Yeah, and it's funny. Because I would write reviews of people's albums sometimes, and they would get so mad at me, and it was like, I'm not doing this to be mean to you.
Yeah, but that's the great thing of not doing local people.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have to worry about running into them at Starbucks.
It was always dangerous to write a local review, because I hardly ever just praised everything.
Well, but also, Wayne, you're a champion of local music,
right?
Yeah,
and so you're not going to review something. I guess sometimes a band will give you a CD and you'll think, well, I got to review this. But most of the time, you're going to review something that you like.
Right. Well, how I started working that out when I was reviewing was, if I really liked something, I would write a full review. Mm-hmm. If this was like, this is sort of, I'm going to let you know this is out there, I would write a stack of these things, basically.
Capsule thing.
Yeah, just basically saying, here's this. It's, If you like this, it's out there.
You know, we both kind of went on that track. Yeah, you do like a compilation. Here are some new albums that are out, and each one got 2 sentences. Like, okay.
Yeah, and it's like a paragraph usually I'd write.
This album has people playing instruments, making sounds.
You may know them.
This local artist has a new album out called this and this and this, and it has songs on it like this and this, or including this and this, and you can buy it here.
Yeah, find it here. And well, now you can stream it here.
Yeah,
and they can
exactly.
decide if they want to buy it.
Right.
But I kind of had in all of when I was talking about just being overworked because I was constantly writing reviews, I did scale back on negative reviews.
Yeah,
just because it took too much out of me to write a negative review. Go ahead.
I was just about to say, I did the same thing, but I mean, But when we started writing reviews, I mean, you read other reviews to try to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
And the snarky ones are the most entertaining.
Stick with you.
Yeah, they're funny.
Yeah. And that's how I think every reviewer starts.
And I got a mean streak. I can say I'm snarky if I have to.
Well, I'd said tons of things I wish I hadn't said.
Yeah.
And then later on you realize, these are real people.
Yep.
And they really do read this stuff. Yeah. And it's not just throwing it out there.
And they're fans. They are also real people. And
right.
And you're, if you're just, randomly dumping on people who like you and read you, and then you just take someone that's dear to their heart and just savage them, it's like, what are you really doing? But I looked at it more as I would review popular acts, the most popular acts I would review, and they'd get negative, positive, whatever. Right. But then the more optional ones, like the second and third reviews each week, I would think, well, let me just find something that's either good or good enough that could be better, and just ignore the bad ones altogether. Yeah. And I almost never wrote, the last several years, I almost never wrote anything that was below like a 3-star review.
Well, if I had to review something say
out of
like
5.
Say Kenny Chesney, who was huge, and
from here,
huge, I would have to honestly review his albums. Yeah. And there were, I really liked him when he started. I went on tour with him, and got to know him, and but there was a point where his albums, I thought, started getting just pandering.
Yep. Formulaic, pandering. Yep, I hate those type albums.
And I was reviewing them, and I gave him lots of negative reviews. But it was always somebody that was that big.
Yeah. You almost had to review him because he's from here. He wasn't just huge. He was from here.
But I recognized at a certain point, kind of the way you did, it's like, what is the point of me giving a negative review to this album that nobody is going to hear about if I don't write about it?
Right. Yeah. And also, just from a selfish standpoint, why am I going to make myself listen to this awful album? It's like I'm going to have to spend an hour listening to this crap and then talk about how it's crap. And then people were saying, why is he picking on this band no one's heard of?
Yeah. But there were other reviewers out there who were just doing it because it's entertaining.
Yeah,
it's entertaining to trash
Well, exactly.
people.
I really was convinced that some of those reviewers were looking for the ones that they could write the most savage reviews on.
You remember Musician magazine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And at the back page, it was like short takes.
Yeah.
Was it Don Flanagan?
It's Flanagan. Bill Flanagan.
Bill Flanagan. And his were just like sometimes just one-word reviews.
Yeah.
And some of them were really, they were vicious. But
they're cruel.
You remember the band GTR?
Yeah.
It was sort of a super group.
I'm trying to think who was in it now, but I remember GTR.
I think Rutherford Mike Rutherford from Genesis was in it, maybe. But his review was GTR, and the review was SHT.
Wow.
And then there was another band, Bad English. I think it was one of Neil Sean's later, the Journey guitar player. Yeah. And the review was, I think grammar is the least of their worries. Some of those are funny.
Yeah, I was never that good.
And those bands deserve it because they were just pompous super groups.
Yeah, but I especially stopped doing that with more local stuff or things that people wouldn't know about. And to a large extent, those would have been the easiest to have done that with.
Right. Sure. But what good is done by trashing somebody? And it's like you went out of your way to trash this person that no one's heard of.
It was not worth it to me to be entertaining.
Yeah,
to
and
hurt
why
people's
put
feelings
that? Why put that negative energy out there in the world?
Yeah,
and especially when the alternative to that is you can just like lift some band from Nevada and that no one's heard of, and make people interested in them in Dubuque, Iowa, or wherever I'm at,
right.
you know, and it's like, and maybe, you know, they'd pick up a handful of fans.
It's kind of your responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just more rewarding to do that.
And that's, to me, that was the most important thing that we did, was get people noticed. I mean, both for the musicians and for people who were listening, is to let you know about something you wouldn't know about that's great, but you wouldn't know about it if we hadn't known about it.
And that's better than just being another voice of 1,000 that reviewed this, you know, other album that you thought was mediocre. You know? It's like,
exactly.
No one's looking for that anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well, you want to talk about some people you hate?
Who do I hate? Oh, let's see. Well, you know, the thing is, some of these are not what I hate. They're just things that, you know, you might think that I like that I don't like.
Okay.
And I have a list of, you know, those people. Journey, for one. I could never stand Journey.
I wouldn't think anyone likes it. I'm always surprised when people say they do.
It surprised me at the end of The Sopranos. You know, when they played the Journey song, everybody starts, you know, loving Journey again. And it's like, God, I wish I was so done with these guys.
Yeah,
for
we
so
worked with
long
a
ago.
woman who really liked Journey.
Yeah.
And she loved his voice. I was like, wow.
By all accounts, though, Steve Perry's a really cool guy.
He seems like a great guy.
Because apparently he's still active in the music community in San Francisco and is all the time helping young bands get recorded. And
Yeah, I think he's a great guy. I just never liked their music.
Yeah, never.
I will admit that in high school I liked some Journey.
Really?
Well, that reminds me of that meme, or I've seen several memes, but it's like, and this is something I hate. It's not a particular band. It's people who think that the music from their youth was the best music, and it's better than anything before and anything after. And what they'll do is they'll slip on, there's one going around that's real popular. It's like 16 different album covers. It says, I listened to music in the 70s then, and I still listen to it now. And, you know, they slide in a Fleetwood Mac or, you know, someone great. And then they have Journey and Foreigner and Toto and all this stuff. It's like, no, those are crap. Those bands are crap. And
You like them less than I do.
Say what?
I said you like them less than I do.
Yeah. It's like, no, those aren't good. Don't you dare put that next to Fleetwood Mac or Queen, you know? Anyway.
Well, but that's the thing. Everybody, we've talked about this before, is everybody loves the music of their youth, and they can't connect with later music, a lot of it.
And that's on them. It's not on the bands.
It's like there's lots of great music out there.
Yep.
You just have to keep looking for it because it's...
Well, but it takes work, and there's a lot of people that are just intellectually lazy.
Yeah.
And it's just easier to dial up a Journey's greatest hits album than it is to listen to something new on the radio and decide whether you like it or not.
And they're just not in the same place in their lives that they were when they liked that music.
Well, and I got friends on my socials that are like college. They're like all these old college friends, and they're just like, hey, I can't wait to get back together again. Those were great days. And I'm like, they were fun, but I mean, I've had lots of good times since then, and I'm still having good times now. And I'm not going to spend all my time looking back on the fraternity house or.
Yeah, I'm still obsessing. You know, the last two songs I obsessed on, I wrote those down. It was the Beaches, Blame Brett, and then Lola Young. We've not talked about her, but she has a song called Messy, and I think I'll go to that in a preview. But it's like I'll get it. It's like, oh my God, you know, it's just that moment, and I listen to it, and I listen to it, and I listen to it, and it's like, this is so different, and it can. For me, and I guess for you too also, it's like it doesn't have to be dramatically different. But it just has to do one thing a little different, one thing a little special, and it makes the world of difference.
Yeah. Well, I went back. I mean, I am becoming more of an old man than you are in music, just because I find
you've always been more of an. You were never a child.
That's true. That's true. But I have a harder time relating to what they're singing about a lot of the times now, just because it's like, yeah, I've done that, experienced that. I mean, you know, give me, you know, Paul Simon crooning about being old, you know, because I can feel more that than I can Chapel Roan.
I don't want to hear that
something.
yet. I don't want to hear, you know.
But when I do hear something that's different or that I think is really emotionally involving, it's like, man, it's like the sky opens up and, you know, the sun's come out.
Yeah.
But it's further and further between that for me now.
Right.
But I'm also not, you know, I'm not constantly being inundated with music that I'm supposed to listen to and to check out.
It's so much more liberating for me now that I'm not writing a column because I don't have to spend much time on it and I don't have to care. And I can tell, I mean, one thing about all those years, I can tell quickly if I like something or I don't. I don't have to listen to it. People always say, oh, you need to listen to it 5 or 6 times. Like, Screw that. I'm not reviewing anything that takes 5 or 6 lessons. Don't have the time. Not going to do it.
Well, we talked about it. Go ahead.
On the other hand, though, if I listen to something and the very first time I listen to it, I just love it. I'm not going to like it for very long.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. It's like sweets,
Sometimes
you know.
it's more
I'm
of an
gonna
infatuation than love.
listen to it 4 or 5 times, and then I'm like, all right, I've had enough of that.
Yeah.
Whereas like XTC,
Right.
your stuff is just really complicated, and on first listen, you're kind of like, well, I don't really know if I understand that.
Yep.
Yeah.
The more you listen to it, you start picking up the patterns, and then it sets in, and then I'm going to listen to that album the rest of my life.
Yeah, and the best ones of those are when you listen to it and you go, no, this is okay, but I really like this one song. And then the next time you listen, it's like, yeah, I might like this other song better. And then the next time it's like, no, this is a
there's
great
no third
song.
time. Yeah.
And it just, I mean, those albums where you get and you've loved every song on it best at one point.
Well, I remember when you recommended Skip's Shirey,
Mm-hmm.
you said it was that. It was like every time I listen to that album, it's a different song that's my favorite
Yeah.
one. Yeah. And I'm finding that to be true with that album.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played that for my wife the other night.
Did you like it?
She thought it was great.
Yeah. You would like that one, Chuck.
It's really unusual.
Okay.
It's got Rhiannon Giddens on it, singing in a way that she normally doesn't sing.
Yeah.
She's usually, I mean, she's operatically trained and she's very educated and she's not particularly, I mean, she's sexy, I guess, in her way, but she doesn't sing provocative stuff. And on that, she's singing fairly provocative stuff. And it sounds good coming out of her.
That Bach and Janelle Monáe song should have been a hit. It was great.
It's good. Got a lot of dancey kind of stuff on it, real funky.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that you would have liked more than
As long as
would
I don't
liked
have to
back
listen
then,
to it
probably.
5 times, I'm telling you, I'm not going to do it.
No,
on
you'd like it
anything,
immediately.
Ever.
Immediately. You might not like the first song or the second song
Right.
immediately, but then you'd get to a
You'll
song
find
that you
something
love.
on there you like.
All right, Wayne, tell us someone else you hate.
With Guns N' Roses. I don't
Oh, you
hate
just
them. I just
hate-
don't like them.
Okay.
I don't like them.
I just think.
Wow, I'm the Guns N' Roses fan.
Yeah.
here. I don't love them. I didn't like November Rain. That was like, ugh.
I don't even remember that one.
Well, I just
Welcome
hate,
to the Jungle was like one of the best rock songs for me.
I just
At
hate
that-
Axl Rose's voice.
Yeah, me too. And at that point, metal was just dead to me. I was not into metal when that came out.
Yeah, and
I was never really into metal. But
and by the same token, I hardly like any hair metal at all.
Right.
yeah, me either.
And it's that would be that my generation would be like that came out in my 20s,
Yeah.
so I should like it, and I just dislike nearly all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of that
I tolerate
grunge
it.
stuff that I don't like at all.
Well, Pearl Jam was on my list too because I like Jeremy okay when it would come on.
I don't like Pearl Jam.
but I just
They're a
never.
great band.
I like Pearl Jam, but I don't listen to them anymore.
I
I
don't
liked
listen
them in
to
the
'em much.
time. I liked them in the moment, but
I
the
saw-
world changed, and and,
Yeah.
and that's something I wanted to say is that for me, even the groups I like or say I really like, it's usually just a 2 or 3 album window that I like them.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
don't-
rare when I have an artist that I like everything they've done.
Right,
Yeah.
right. There's just like a little period I zero in. That's why when I recommend acts, a lot of times it's like, they were around for 20 years, but these 2 years they were amazing, you know. And it's just like because that's the moment when I'm in sync with them,
Yeah.
you know. And it's not even necessary that they change their sound. It's just I change because we change as much as the artists do.
Sure.
And it's like if you're changing it along each other and they still speak to you, but that's almost never happens. I think you think I'm a much bigger Madonna fan than I am.
The way you represented, your love of
Part
Madonna
of it was
years
to
ago.
goad you. I mean, it's like most of my friends are bigger Madonna fans
Really?
than I am. And some of her early stuff just sounds like crap.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that high little voice. And then she hit a groove, and I do like, what she represented. She was like aggressive and all of that stuff. But her from the last 20 years, I don't even know what she's doing anymore, and I don't care. So
Yeah. Well, we should do a show one
and I
time.
hate Vogue. I hate the song Vogue.
Yeah,
It's
oh,
one of
wow,
the-
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So just so you know, it's I enjoyed you saying, "Oh, well, you're the Madonna fan," and she's one of those. It's like Beyonce or Taylor Swift today. When you find out someone likes them, you immediately assume like these fanatic, crazy. They love every song, and every song they did is better than anything anyone else has ever done. No, it's never that way with Madonna. Trust me.
Okay.
I do respect her ability to reinvent herself.
Yes, I respected how ambitious and aggressive she was, and that she did surround herself with good producers, and she was always trying to change things up, and that did give her a longer career than most other men or women.
She was willing to change.
She was willing to change. So I appreciate all that. And I do believe that despite her, sexualized image and everything, I still believe she was also really good for feminism because she was representing, kind
of a woman in charge.
A woman in charge. Yeah. She was being sexual. It wasn't like Britney Spears where they put her in a bikini or whatever, or Fiona Apple. We were talking about her, that first video where they had her, in her panties with the back to the camera, taking her bra off, and that ruined her career. And she was an amazing artist. Still
is.
Yeah. But anyway,
well, that's interesting on Madonna because I did assume you liked her more than you. Obviously,
there are some songs. I would say she's still one of my, because I am fickle with everybody. I'm just like a real whore with fans. It's like, oh, I love your album. Oh, I love this new album. Then I'm done. I'm going to ghost you now.
Well, I want to throw out 3 acts that rock snobs don't like generally.
Okay.
And I watched the Yacht Rock documentary that John recommended a couple of weeks ago, and that entire documentary is worth hearing the phone call to Donald Fagen.
I don't know what that means.
Donald Fagen, is one of the 2 core members of Steely Dan,
right?
And I didn't realize that Steely Dan were considered the top yacht rock band. I never considered Steely Dan yacht rock. Not that was a term that was ever used until recently.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like Steely Dan.
I do too.
I like Aerosmith. And here's the one that gets people. I like the Spin Doctors.
Okay.
There's 2.
Go ahead.
For
now.
2 albums, I like them.
Yeah.
For the rest of it, it's like, who cares?
I don't even know if they did other albums. They do more than 2.
Well, after the big hit album, Pocket Full of Kryptonite, which I have, they were playing on Cumberland Avenue on a regular basis. They would come through town and play in Knoxville.
Were they from the South or something?
No, they were from New York.
They just toured all the time.
Yeah, they toured all the time. They came down here, and that album was out for it was close to a year before it hit. And then it hit with those songs, and it was like, I love to hear this come on the radio.
Mm-hmm. I think I could name I would recognize a song of theirs if I heard it.
There's Little Miss, Little Miss, Little Miss Can't Be
Wrong. That's a big one.
There's now go ahead. Now, what is that?
The Two Princes.
Two Princes, that's it. Yeah. And that's it. That's all I know by them.
Well, that whole album's fun, and it's not.
Those 2 songs are good.
It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's like when that comes on, it's like, I really like this. It's got a good groove. It's fun. And Little Miss Can't Be Wrong is written about the guy's stepmother that he hated.
Oh, cool. Oh, I like that.
So anyway, I don't want to talk about hating anything anymore. People would be surprised, being a rock snob, that I like the Spin Doctors.
Yeah, I guess they would. You're not going to tell me you like, what is it, the Blind Melon?
No, I hated Blind Melon.
Ooh,
well, I didn't hate him. But
oh my God, the No
Shannon
Rain
Hoon's
or
voice
whatever.
was tough.
That, oh man, threw my head like a nail. That was just the worst. The worst of the worst.
There were a lot from that era that I just couldn't connect with. And then some that I thought were good for singles bands.
Okay.
Everybody hates on Smash Mouth. It's like, I kind of like, I got tired of their songs, but, Rockstar's a fun song.
Yeah. Got overplayed. Kind of. Hey, now you're an all-star.
Oh, All-Star. I said Rockstar All-Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got so many other things that we don't need to go into, but was there a celebrity passing away that affected you in any way?
Oh, yeah, several. When Nielsen died, Harry Nielsen, it tore me up because I loved Nielsen so much. When John Lennon, everybody with John Lennon just about, I think, you didn't care about.
I don't remember it.
With me, I remember
some guy died.
I remember exactly where I was when I heard the news, and I remember everything about that. Keith Moon from The Who. The Who were my favorite band in high school, and they were like, Keith Moon died when I was working at McDonald's, I think, and then I think I found out somehow then that he had died, and it really was depressing to me.
I've been pretty immune to feeling too deep about it, but the one that gets me, you probably won't be surprised, but it was Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah.
And that was, to me, she was like just such a white light. She was just so kind and just always upbeat and friendly and smiling. And she had breast cancer for like 30 years. She was fighting this. And I just got it in my mind that she was never going to die from it. And there was just so many upbeat, positive things about her. And for a while, I kind of fancied her to be like my aunt or something because my dad was in the Air Force and my parents were divorced. And my dad was going to be, he had the opportunity to go to Brisbane, and I don't know, that was Air Force connected or whatever. And he wanted to take me. And I wanted to go, and my mom was like, no way are you going to the other side of the world. And it went on, but I started researching Australia, and I thought, that'll put me closer to Olivia, and she would just be like the ideal aunt, or something like that. But her death, it was like I was surprised because, there have been, Prince and stuff like that. And it's like, and this is a terrible thing to say, but, if it's someone who's just died from an overdose or something, it's sad. But there was just something about her in this long battle for 30 years of all people, just this really kind woman. And she does remind me somewhat of Dolly, because just like such a positive light in the world. And that's like my Kylie Minogue too, Yeah. But, and that one is like, wow, I really feel, down about this, even though, she still made it, pretty deep into life and everything.
Yeah, well, I interviewed her once, I think.
Oh, man, I never got to interview her.
And she was as nice as she could be. Yeah. She was exactly what you hoped she would be. She was really friendly and just very warm, and I thought she was a great interview.
Yeah. So, I mean, was she the most talented performer? Maybe not, but I just liked her as a person beyond music.
Yeah, well, I think she was a good person. I mean, the other person who came at it about the same time she did was Anne Murray, and Anne Murray was the same way. She was as nice as she could be. Yeah. And I asked her about the South Park movie. Because, they have the Blame Canada song and saying that bitch Anne Murray too.
That bitch Anne Murray too.
So I said, what do you think about
South
that?
Park, not South Park, Family Guy did a whole Anne Murray episode. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, I asked her about the South Park song, and she said, oh, my kids play that for me all the time. And she laughed. She just loved it.
But I just love those good spirits that kind of pass through our lives, and you feel like they're more to you than just a performer,
Yeah. Well, I don't think that the ones that tore me up, and that's when it was really early on. I mean, with Keith Moon and Nielsen and people like that. I mean, I didn't really imagine necessarily what it would be like to know them that much, but it was just like their music was so important to me.
Yeah,
and then
that's over.
There's a good Nielsen documentary that made me maybe not like him quite as much. I read his bio too that came out, and he was a very flawed person. I mean, I think he was a great artist, and all the flaws probably made him a better artist, but.
I was really torn up when David Bowie died.
Oh, yeah.
And I know, Chuck, you're not the hugest David Bowie fan,
No.
But he was absolutely the consummate artist. Talk about changing yourself. I mean, every album was a different. And he specialized in outrage. He loved to outrage people. Yeah. But ask anyone that knew him, and they just loved him. And he was the friendliest, nicest. And he turned his death into a work of art.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing to me. And
I remember when you reviewed his last album, too.
Yeah.
And it's
Black Star's great.
It's an amazing record. You can't listen to it a lot because it's kind of a downer, but it was complete. No one knew.
Yeah.
I mean, no one knew. Even his own band on the album didn't know. His producer did.
Yeah.
Right.
But he made this goodbye. This record was his goodbye to the world. I mean, there's the song on there, Lazarus, where the first line is, "Look up here, man, I'm in heaven."
Yeah.
It's like he knew. I think he probably had physician-assisted suicide and did it because he died the day the record came out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And, Leslie and I were on vacation, and I listened to Bowie all day long that day. And then that night I watched that Lazarus video, and I just couldn't stop myself from just bawling like a child. It really hit me.
Yeah.
And Tom Petty hit me pretty hard, too.
Well, and the thing with Tom Petty is like you had Tom Petty, Prince, you had David Bowie. I mean, you had all these people listed in this very short span of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was tough.
And it's like giants.
Well, and Tom Petty and Prince, as much as you want to say it's an illness and all of that, it was still self-inflicted. I mean, it just shows you the destructive power of opioids.
Yeah. And I think that's what hurt me so much more on Olivia. It's just like, and then seeing like the videos and everything. I thought, oh, Olivia died, and I started seeing video tributes like on TV, and you'd see her coming out with this ear-to-ear smile. It's just nothing but sunshine and warmth. And it's like, you know. So
Well, speaking of that, I'm sad that Jimmy Carter died.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Rock and Roll President movie?
No, huh?
No.
Oh, go look it
see
up.
that.
Jimmy Carter, Rock and Roll President. It is fantastic.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not going to be my recommendation, though, because I got something else to say.
Okay. All right.
Well, we should go to recommendations.
We should.
I think
We've
we're
been
running
doing this a long
way
time.
late. So, who wants to pop it? Wayne, you can save your stuff. I've got stuff I can save. I want to talk about, I'm going to put it out there now. I want to talk about reaction videos on YouTube because I can binge the hell out of that stuff. and when I was taking notes, I found a psychiatrist who was reacting to Chapel Roan videos and analyzing them for their psych. So anyway, we'll talk about that some other day. That'll be fun.
Oh, let's do a whole thing on that, yeah, because I watch those too, and it's like some of the songs that it's surprising some of the reactions on some of the songs.
Yeah.
So let's do a whole thing on
Okay.
that one.
That sounds good.
Well, I can recommend a movie
Okay.
right off the bat. I saw
Okay.
Nosferatu,
Oh, okay.
and Sarah, my girlfriend, did not like it very much because the vampire was not sexy, and she thinks
Okay.
all vampires should be sexy.
Oh, there's an old Nosferatu where he was way homely.
Oh, he's homelier. He's homelier than the
that.
original Nosferatu.
Okay.
Is this a new movie?
1920. Yes, new movie or recent movie. I mean, it's out in December, open Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And it is like, it's very atmospheric. It has a lot of similarities to the original silent film. And, of course, Werner Herzog made another version of it, 80s or 90s, can't remember which it was, maybe 70s. But it's actually a little scary. I mean, anytime somebody can tell the Dracula legend and actually give you some scares and some make you nervous and suspense, I think it's a win.
Okay.
But
But it's not really a horror film, right?
Oh, it's a horror
Is
film.
it? Okay.
There's not a whole lot of gore, but I mean, the Nosferatu in this is a rotting corpse of a creature.
Okay.
I mean, he's got, when they show his back, he's got like holes in his back from, where this
Pet
flesh
sores
is
or something.
eaten. But it's, and Sarah didn't think it was very sexual, but it's sexual, but it's like appealing to the beast. I mean, the woman in it, the Lucy character, I can't remember what her name actually is in it, but she has been
So that's something.
haunted by him.
Nosferatu isn't Dracula.
It is. What happened is when Murnau, the director, F.W. Murnau, wanted to make it in the 20s. Of course, Bram Stoker, I think, was still alive. His estate was definitely active,
Right.
and he could not get the rights to do Dracula.
Okay.
So
They use the same type story. but-
it's the same story.
Okay, and there's
It's
a
the
Lucy.
same
Is
story
there
with
a
different
Mina
names.
too? And,
Yeah, but they're all called different things. There's a Lucy, there's a Mina, there's a Renfield, and it's the same Dracula story, but a lot of people prefer Nosferatu to the 1931 Bela Lugosi Dracula film. And it's really kind of scarier. I mean, this is a vampire that has these long fingernails and has this ugly, scary-looking face. So, I mean, Bela Lugosi is like suave and, kind of sexy.
Right.
And the original Nosferatu is not. And
Right.
this is not sexy other than the fact that she's being drawn to him.
Right.
But
Okay.
I think it's fun.
You know, there are always those women who go for the ugly guys.
Yeah, this is a really ugly guy.
They
But
just see something else.
Thank heaven for those women.
But it's really pretty to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
all the cinematography and everything. And I thought it was fun. Directed by the same Eggers, Dave Eggers, the guy that did The Witch
Okay.
and The Lighthouse.
Okay. Those are
So
great.
you put those two together and you kind of
I like
have
both of those.
Yeah, so I think you'll like it.
Okay. I guess I'll give it a chance.
Okay, there you go.
I was recommended this by our mutual friend Susan Lee.
Uh-huh.
It's a television show, three-part murder crime drama, but it's true, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Tiger King in the sense that you just think, oh, this cannot get any crazier, and it just keeps getting crazier. But it's the Kings of Tupelo. And it involves two brothers who are Elvis impersonators, and they develop an act where they perform on stage together, and they're called Double Trouble. And the older brother plays the fat karate suit jumping Elvis, and the younger brother plays the gold lame jacket Elvis. And that's all I'll tell you, because you get that in the first, 15 minutes of the show.
Oh, okay.
It's
All
only
right.
3-parter, but man, it just and the characters.
Where is it? I mean,
It's on Apple TV.
Apple
Or no, it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
okay.
The Kings of Tupelo.
Okay.
And they interview multiple politicians from Mississippi, and they've got just these amazing Mississippi accents. And I couldn't recommend it more. It's just, like every episode, I was like, I cannot believe what I just saw.
well, I'm going to recommend Love Lies Bleeding.
Okay.
From 2024.
I've been thinking about watching that. So.
Are you? Okay. Well, it's not for everybody, but I think you might like it.
Okay.
It's so you've got Katie O'Brien plays this woman bodybuilder who mysteriously surfaces in this New Mexico town, and Kristen Stewart plays like the manager of a local little gym in that town. And Katie,
Right.
Or her name's Jackie. They become lovers. But it's very violent. Ed Harris plays Kristen Stewart's dad, and he's like kind of mafia connected and everything. And who is it? Not Rose McGowan. Jenna Malone is the sister. So it's Kristen Stewart's character, her family. So she's a reasonable sister, but she's married to Dave Franco, who is an abusive husband, so an abusive brother-in-law. So it's this kind of mixed up sort of mobby, violent movie, and just raw. And both of these actresses are LGBT actresses, and so there's some raw sex scenes in there. And Katie O'Brien, I don't know how to explain it, and I don't really want to explain it, but it does kind of take a supernatural spin in some ways that you wouldn't expect. But there's just violence, and then more violence, and then you're not sure who's on whose side. And Kristen Stewart's really the central character. He's just trying to keep everybody's act together and try to navigate her way through all these difficult people. But it's really got a mood to it, and it's like this burnished kind of lighting, brightly lit, kind of desolate, small town, New Mexico setting. But it's wild, and it just goes like way down a path you're not expecting it to go.
Huh. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think you'd like it.
Violence, sex.
Yeah.
Supernatural.
Violence and violent sex. And, and supernatural and women going for it, and all that. So, yeah.
Okay.
Where do you see this?
It's on streaming, and I know as soon as I asked you, it's like, I don't know where this one is. I think it might be Hulu or Paramount Plus.
Look it up.
Okay, yeah.
I
Sorry.
have a little search thing.
Okay, all right. Do your little search thing. It's out there streaming away. Anyone got a music rec?
Okay. Well, I don't think I've recommended this before. I can't remember if I have or not. I recommended Stay Awake, various interpretations of music from vintage Disney films.
I remember that when it came out.
Well,
Hal Wilner, the great producer.
What's the name of that?
It's called Stay Awake, various interpretations of music from vintage Disney films.
Well, that just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. But I think it was my favorite album when it came out. What year was it came
So
out?
what are they doing to these Disney songs? I
1988.
have Disney songs like from the theme parks and everything. Whenever I go to a theme park, I'll buy if they have an album of all their music. Wait, is it that or Disney
No,
music?
It's like modern artists doing their version of,
Right.
Okay.
of Disney songs.
Okay.
And it's great.
These songs are real twisted, even in their original form.
Yeah. Well, and it has like instrumentalists on it, like Bill Frisell, including Bill Frisell and Wayne Horvitz. It's got Natalie Merchant, Michael Stipe, and the Roaches all doing Little April Shower.
Okay.
It's got Los Lobos doing I Want to Be Like You from the Jungle Book, and it's great. It's got Bonnie Raitt and Was Not Was collaborating on Baby Mine from Dumbo.
Yeah, this sounds familiar.
Oh, my gosh.
It came out in the 80s because I was working at the record store.
Oh, yeah.
when it came out.
I thought I said the date on it. It says 1988.
Okay. Well, I didn't review it then, but okay.
Yeah, I reviewed it.
Yeah,
when
maybe.
it came out.
Yeah, maybe.
Suzanne
I came into it
Vega
late.
is on it. Sid Straw, who doesn't get enough love.
Yeah.
Then Buster Poindexter, Aaron Neville, Yama Sumac. We talked about that in the Exotica stuff. Mm-hmm. NRBQ, they do Whistle While You Work, and it's great.
Yeah. They can do no wrong.
Yeah, Betty Carter. The Replacements doing Cruella de Vil.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Man, it's good. And Sinead O'Connor doing Someday My Prince Will Come.
Okay.
And Sun Ra, Nielsen, James Taylor and the Roaches, Ken Nordine. I already said Nordine. And the last one is When You Wish Upon a Star with Ringo Starr and Herb Alpert.
Okay.
And it's great. I mean, it is. I've introduced people to this album through the years, and they always absolutely love it.
I think you introduced it to me after I came up here. I mean, you had already.
I think I have it on a cassette in my closet upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, and I used to play it when I had a radio show. I played it on the radio show all the time.
Did the Flanagan like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike Flanagan liked it too. We were. I mean, that was one of. We were bonded on all kinds of music.
Yeah, me too.
He loved that one.
Yeah,
I think
that guy.
I think he got into it because of he got me into the Replacements, and the Replacements are just like great on it.
Yeah.
But Hal Wilner had a career of bringing disparate artists together on projects, and all his projects are interesting, but that is the pinnacle. It is just perfect. So there's my recommendation.
I just got turned on. There's a brand new, I mean, this won't be new by the time this podcast comes out, but there's a new album by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. It's called Flight B741.
Haven't heard the new one.
And I don't know what's in these guys' food or something, because they put out like 3 or 4 albums a year, and they're all over the place style-wise, and they're all really good.
Yeah.
They must record every note they make. But it's great.
Okay.
Fantastic.
They're fun. I really like them.
Yeah, we saw them at the
specific
Bonnaroo.
genre then, or
It's rock.
okay.
I mean, some of it is like really just melt your face off rock, but some of it is like totally synthesizer oriented, and yeah, you just pick an album and check them out.
Some of it very psychedelic.
Okay. Well, I've got an odd one too. Rasputina. Have you heard of them?
Oh yeah.
They're technically, I saw them labeled as women's cello rock. And that's not.
Oh, they're another one of those?
Yeah,
You're kidding
Yet
me.
another women's cello rock.
I get so sick of. There's so many of them.
Do they do auto tune?
No. But the album I like particularly that I'm pushing is Cabin Fever from 2002. It's their third album. They're a New York City band. This is my favorite album of theirs. They're led by a front woman, Melora Krieger. She's originally from Kansas City, but she's totally a New Yorker now. It's so, it's got like this almost like go-go frenetic buzzing and everything. And she plays cello and she sings. And it's like discordant stuff. It's kind of like punk chamber pop and just like so many different things. And they turn everything upside down. They're very arty. They're very interested in history. They're always portraying different things and different stories. Quickly, some of the songs I like, State Fair, which is just this buzzing electric song, and and it's a meet cute in the Rasputina world. So she goes, he was never like the other guys selling curly fries. And there's a song called Rats, which is just this runaway kind of go-go music and tribal. And it gives way to a song called Clipped, where she compares herself to a bird. It's a real like elegy, and she's talking about, he clipped my wings, and I will learn to walk today, like this mournful one. And then there's this great, it's called PJ plus Vincent and Matthew plus Bjork. And she calls it a repulsive celebrity double date. So she makes it, and she's doing all these voices, and it's PJ Harvey, who's like, she puts on lipstick and more lipstick, and she does it. Vincent Gallo, and I can't remember who the Matthew is, and then Bjork. And they're just all talking to each other, and she's like doing all the voices, just random, like PJ Harvey starts banging her head into the wall, and then Bjork recovers it, or it's recording it, and it says, "I love the rhythm. It makes my stomach feel like sunshine jelly." And so it's just really weird, bizarre. And then they have a song called Antique High Heel Red Doll Shoes, which is like a send-up of fashion, but it's like this real abrasive rock, but also dance.
Yeah.
So Rasputina, Cabin Fever, 2002. They didn't get enough love when they should have. I think they're still active, but that was that moment when I was in sync with them.
I remember you making me listen to them.
Yes.
And I liked them.
Yes. Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it.
We're done with this very random Go ahead.
I just think it was a good conversation.
All right. Well, let us know what you all think. Are we just getting too off field, or you enjoy us just sitting and talking?
Yeah.
You can't get your money back.
Yeah, we will not refund the $0 you put into this. Anyway, thank you for coming around, and we'll be back next week. Thank you.
You've been listening to How We Heard It with Chuck Campbell and Wayne Bledsoe, a podcast about music, art, culture, movies, whatever they want to talk about. How We Heard It was recorded in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Arbor Studio by John Baker. If you believe you've been abducted by aliens during the listening to this podcast, we take no responsibility for that. How We Heard It is a Tear Owl production, and if you'd like to reach out to Chuck or Wayne, send an email to howweheardit@gmail.com. Come on back next week and we'll have another show for you.